Hi everyone, welcome back to Knitting and Nuance. I am your host, I guess you would say. My name is Natasha, and it has been a little bit of time, but it's because I was waiting on getting a new phone, and I finally have a new phone with a lot of extra storage. I have some fun little gadgets and stuff that my parents got me. My dad got me this mic. It took a little bit to figure out how it works. And then my mom got me like an external screen so I can see if like it happens to stop recording or anything. So we are set. Hopefully I can stay on top of making videos. Right now my baby, she is taking a nap, so I'm taking advantage. And before we get started, I was about to get ahead of myself. Like always, in the beginning of every episode, I'm going to let you know what I'm doing, like what hobby. I'm still knitting I forget what it's called, Ingrid sweater by Petite Knit for my husband. I actually took a little break from it and was doing a couple crochet projects. But yes, I'm knitting this Ingrid sweater for my husband. But boy, do I got a doozy for you guys. So I have a question for you. What would you say abortion and children's books have in common? And hopefully the answer would be like, well, hopefully nothing. You know, I never thought that there would be a children's book on abortion, but unfortunately we have reached the day and age where there is a children's book on abortion. So this was actually, I came across this article, when was this? November 19th, so it was almost a month ago. I get emails from Live Action. It's a pro-life organization, and in one of the emails that I got was this article about this very big abortion advocate, and she wrote a children's book about abortion. Talk about disgusting and evil. I'm just going to say it how it is. It's disgusting and evil. And let me double check. It says her name is Amelia, don't know how to pronounce her last name, Bonow, I don't know. But Amelia Bonow is an abortion activist, most well known for creating the Shout Your Abortion social media movement. She's published a children's book about abortion years after vowing to do so. And it is pretty disturbing. From the outside, obviously the title says abortion is everything. But from the outside, it has like little paint splatters, and I'll put pictures up somewhere on the screen so you guys can see. For very obvious reasons, I'm not going to be purchasing this book. But she, on her Shout Your Abortion Instagram page, this article has it linked, and there's a few pictures of the pages, so we'll look through that. But I just find it so vile that it's always the leftists, it's always the Democrats targeting children, and it's really creepy and predatory. I find it weird. Like, why? And obviously I know why, because they want to raise up children to be brainwashed and evil and think that it's okay to live a certain way. And obviously I believe all of these issues, all of these topics and subjects should be left to the parents, for the parents to discuss it with their children when they feel it is necessary, when they feel it is time, when they think their children are ready for it. I don't think it should be left up to strangers, weirdos. But yeah, the book is Abortion is Everything. And it is by Amelia Bono, however the heck you pronounce her last name, and Rachel Kessler, illustrated by Emily Noakes. So we'll kind of go through it, but it's just really freaking weird. And I just realized I haven't even knitted a single stitch. But let's get on with some knitting. But yeah, I just find it really weird how people are always targeting children when it comes to these very serious topics. Like these drag story times that libraries put on. Why do you need to expose children to drag queens? That is like, these are, and I want to, because I'm sure some of these people are nice people, you know, and I'm sure to a certain extent they have good intentions. Because I don't want to always label the entire group as being crazy. Because, of course, you know, as a Christian at least, I know what it feels like to be labeled in general as being bad and evil people. Yes, there are bad Christians, of course. Any group, you'll have good people and bad people. Any group, you'll have people with really good intentions, but just very bad delivery and not doing it correctly, you know? So I don't always want to just put that label and just be like, oh, all these people are terrible, all these people are horrible. Because no, because I know what it feels like to be made seem as just because I'm Christian or just because I'm Hispanic or, you know, just because I'm a woman or whatever, I'm a certain way. Yes, stereotypes are rooted in truth. So yes, certain stereotypes are true. So what? So I do also want to, you know, make that disclaimer. I don't want to seem as if I'm saying the entire group of like these people are this way, but it gets to a certain point where you do start to question, is like, is it all these people? Because it's just, I don't know, it's just really weird. It's like, why are you always targeting children? Like, leave the kids alone. They are not your children. You don't even borderline believe in having kids. Like, either you're gay or you're trans or you believe in abortion. All of these things completely are the opposite of like the family, like the nuclear family, and continuing the human species, the human race. Like, none of these things would allow humans to be born and to be alive and continue the human population. So obviously it does get to a certain point where you're wondering, like, I don't know if I'm rambling, but let's get back to this book. But yeah, the book is called Abortion is Everything. No, it is not. And like I've said before, I personally do not believe that there is absolutely any nuance with abortion. I think regardless of how a child is conceived, regardless if both parents are in the home, regardless of if the parents would be able to raise that child, you put yourself, and I understand rape is a thing, of course, and that is terrible, and I feel so horrible, and I do feel a lot of sympathy and a lot of compassion for women who are sexually assaulted and raped and end up conceiving. But I also think it's important to remember too that abortion because of rape is such a tiny percentage compared to the reasons why women decide to abort. And I'll see if I can put it up somewhere on the screen if I remember to find it. But I remember I was researching into it because I was curious. And a lot of the times women get abortions largely because they're either just don't want the kid and they feel like they're not ready. They feel like they're not ready financially, like they're not, you know, like financially stable. To me, those are all selfish reasons. And I just don't think there's any reason to kill a baby. Killing a baby is not going to help you heal from your rape. It's not going to make you feel better. Even if at the time you feel like it was the best decision, I feel like that's something that women carry on the rest of their lives. And the amount of stories and the amount of testimonials that I've heard and read of women having that guilt their entire life and like just not being able to forgive themselves because of their abortion. So then to think that there's a woman, multiple women writing a children's book about abortion, trying to raise up the next generation of kids to think that it's okay to murder a baby. Anyway, let's go on. So this post it's Shot Your Abortion, their Instagram post says, now in the shop, SYA's new children's book, SYA Shot Your Abortion, and it shows the cover of the book. Next, so it's I think it's called a carousel. I'm not very into social media like that, but I think it's called a carousel where it's like multiple pictures in one post. The next post or the next picture says abortion is everything, speaks directly to 5 to 8 year olds about what abortion is, how it might feel, and why people have abortions. And the author of this book, Amelia Bonow, has had an abortion herself because she was in a video. I don't know the YouTube channel, I forget. This was like a month ago that I was kind of looking into this. But there's a YouTube channel that has people, like a person from a certain situation or lifestyle or whatever. And there's a bunch of children of different age groups asking that person questions. And she was on it, and I think the video was something along the lines of, children ask someone who's had an abortion questions or something like that, which I think later on they took the video down. I don't know, freaking weird. And she was on it, so she has had an abortion herself. But yeah, this post shows a picture from the book, a picture of a couple pages from the book, and it says all living things reproduce, which means to have babies or make more of themselves. Plants and animals reproduce when their babies or seedlings have a strong chance of survival. Which it doesn't make sense to say that, because it's as if you know that your baby is going to survive, so that's why you're reproducing. You don't know if your baby would end up surviving or not. You reproduce because you want to start a family, you know? Again, let me reread that. Plants and animals reproduce when their babies or seedlings have a strong chance of survival. When the sun is bright, there's lots of food, safe from predators around that might eat them. I think that's what it says. It's a little blurry. When there is a high chance for their babies to survive, grow, and make babies of their own. Which, again, it's kind of a confusing wording. I don't know if I'm misunderstanding that. Sorry, let me get a little bit of knitting going. It's just I'm in a section of what I'm knitting that kind of requires me counting a bit. So, next picture in this post. Using accessible, inclusive language, Abortion is Everything frames abortion as the actualization of a uniquely human superpower, our capacity to imagine the future and make choices that lead us towards the life we envision. And if your life that you envision for the future does not involve children, then don't have sex, have some self-control, and restrain from having sex before you feel like you're ready for children. It's as easy as that. But anyway, the picture from it, so it has another image from the book, and it's like a time machine drawing. It says, what do you dream of doing in the future? Our imaginations are like time travel machines. Where do you want to go? What do you want to be? What do you want to do in the future? So it's already setting up the idea that if you have children, it keeps you from being able to pursue the things you want in the future. No, not at all. I have a child. I have a daughter. My husband and I, we have a kid. We plan on having, at the very least, one more child in the future. That doesn't keep me from doing the things that I want to do. I still get time to knit, not as much time as I had before. Of course, I have a child. I'm taking care of her. But the fact that it sets it up as if having children keeps you from being able to reach your goals is weird, and it's disgusting. Why are you putting these thoughts into children's head? Put the thoughts into their head that having children, having a family is a beautiful thing. Getting married is a beautiful thing. Starting a life with someone else and creating life with someone else is wonderful. And it's a good thing to do. So it shows the next picture in this post. Abortion is Everything introduces the concept of abortion in a way that empowers parents and kids to begin rewriting our cultural scripts about abortion at the most foundational level. Yeah, rewriting it so that way it doesn't seem like abortion is murdering a human life, an innocent, vulnerable human life. Rewriting it so that it seems like, oh, you're just ending your pregnancy. It's just a clump of cells. It's just a sack of tissue. No, it is a human being that at the moment of conception has its own specific and unique DNA. It is a human being. Science agrees that life begins at conception. So if you're ending your pregnancy, you're killing a life. You're killing a human. So rewriting that is disgusting and it's evil. So the picture that it has of the pages from the book says, once someone becomes pregnant, 3 things can happen. They have a baby, they have a miscarriage, which is when a pregnancy ends before a person gives birth to a baby, and then it has an asterisk underneath. It says sometimes miscarriages are very sad and sometimes they are a relief, and sometimes they make a person feel many feelings at once. So some of this I am reacting to live, and some of it I have already, like, again, this was like almost a month ago when I saw this, but that is disgusting to say that. I am like at a loss for words to see that. Wow. And then the third thing, they have an abortion, which is when a person ends their pregnancy instead of having a baby. Or why not rewrite it? They have an abortion, which is when a person kills their baby instead of having the baby. But we don't want to face reality and face the facts that abortion is killing a baby. And then the last picture is just hands holding the actual physical book. It says, now in the shop, SY's new children's book, Abortion is Everything. Which when I went to the actual post on Instagram, there were women in the comments being like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, I'm going to get this book for my children and read it to them when it's there, when I think they're ready and stuff. And I'm like, you are all deranged. You are all psychos. I'm going to say it as it is. The fact that you want to raise your children to think that it's okay to kill them, that's their choice. So are you going to raise up your children and tell them, oh, I had a choice to kill you, but you know what? You're the lucky one and you survived and I let you live. Are you going to tell them that? Because that's what you're implying by telling them that they have a choice if they want to kill their baby or not. Meaning, I had the choice to kill you, but I didn't. It's horrible. And I feel like that's what people don't understand. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It's just, it really frustrates me because I feel like it's so obvious, the facts, and it's right there in your face what abortion is, and people like her, very clearly, she says she wants to rewrite, what was it exactly? Rewriting our cultural scripts about abortion at the most foundational level. And it just surprises me that there are people who are really so like okay with killing babies. And then recently I saw a clip of Uma Thurman's daughter, I don't know her name, don't really care, on Jimmy Fallon talking about,
oh yeah, my mom wrote this beautiful essay about her abortion and how, when she had an abortion before me or whatever, and how, if she hadn't had that health care, she wouldn't have been able to, have her dreams and her life. And I think that's just so beautiful, and I think we need health care.
And all this mumbo jumbo. It's like, girl, that would have been your sibling. That would have been your brother or sister. And you're being like, yes, my mom killed my brother or sister and she was able to have the life she had. She was selfish. She was able to have the life she wanted. That would have been your brother or sister. And the thing is, it's like, that could have been you. And it just baffles me the hoops people go through to offend abortion. And when I saw that clip, I'm like, girl, like, you're lost, man. Like, people are lost. Like, people are really advocating for the most heinous, evil ideologies. And like I said, the worst part of it is that they're aiming it at the children to try to brainwash children to think this way. You're raising up the most you're going to raise up the most apathetic, like, brainwashed, delusional, deranged generation unless we step in and tell them the facts and, like, no, abortion is bad. Killing a baby is bad. And what is the difference between killing a baby in the womb, that's a human life, and killing them outside the womb? People get so like, oh no, like, don't murder, whatever. Okay, but you're doing that in the womb. It's just, it's very upsetting to see that. And I don't know, I just feel like it's very, like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to think critically and think like, oh, well, like, yeah, it is murder. And it's like admitting that it's murder completely crumbles their whole viewpoint. But I don't know, you guys. I just I don't know what's going on with the world. I don't understand why people are the way they are. Wait, I'm losing count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me look through this article a little bit. It says, okay, along with Bonow, the book was written by Rachel Kessler and illustrated by Emily Noakes. And then, in quotes, abortion is everything introduces the concept of abortion in a way that empowers parents. Oh, yeah, the post included. Commenters to the post appear ecstatic at the thought of propagandizing very young children about the killing of preborn human beings, with one stating, "Love it. I've been speaking to my kids about abortion since they were small, and it is so empowering to hear a child say, you don't have to be pregnant if you don't want to be." Then don't have sex. And don't put yourself in a situation where you are not married, and because most abortions happen between couples who are not married, which makes sense because when you're married, you have already chosen to spend the rest of your life with this person, and you know that you do want children at least at some point with them. So if a woman does come out pregnant when she's married, the likelihood of her keeping that baby is a lot higher, as opposed to not being committed to this person. A woman comes out pregnant with this man that she's not even married to, and then obviously she's put in a situation where it's like, well, I don't know if I want to be with this man. Well, then don't have sex until you're married. It's as simple as that. Another claimed, I think I will be buying this today for my potential future offspring. And yet it's likely that many individuals of the same persuasion believe Meet Baby Olivia, which educates about human prenatal development and says nothing about abortion at all, is a blatant attempt to brainwash young children, with science apparently. So yeah, Meet Baby Olivia is a video by Live Action that shows like a baby in the womb and all the stages of development, and it's scientific. And I've seen the video, it's really cute. And it's all like scientific. It shows the baby developing. It's what a baby develops like in a woman's womb. And there are people who think that is like propaganda. Okay, but this is what science says. We're teaching people, children, families, what actual development of a baby in the womb is like. Yet we are propagandizing children when you're the one telling little kids that it's okay to kill a baby in the womb, that they don't have to be pregnant if they don't want to. Right. But yeah, it's wild. Yeah, and then it says here the video that she did, it was Bonow and other abortion activists like her have long tried to promote abortion to children. She appeared in a Kids Meet video series in 2019, which was labeled Kids Meet Someone Who's Had an Abortion. At that time, Bonow announced her then upcoming children's book, which apparently has not been published until now, that was 6 years ago. The video has since been removed from the Kids Meet page, but was republished elsewhere on YouTube. Yeah, so they did take it down. In the video, Bonow said she got pregnant after having unprotected sex with a boyfriend, but denied being irresponsible and said her boyfriend supported the abortion. Which also, men, stop being little beta losers, okay? Stand up for life, okay? Stand up for vulnerable babies. Just because you're a man, just because you don't have a uterus, does not mean you do not have a voice in this matter. Stand up. Stop being a loser and be a man and stand up for life. Stand up for the little babies in the womb that don't have a voice. Be their voice. I freaking hate it when women, these feminists say, oh no, because you don't have a uterus and you're not a woman, you can't say anything about it. No, yes they can. Because a woman wouldn't have that baby if it wasn't for a man. So he has every right to say something if he doesn't agree with abortion. And I hate that argument. Hate it. But let me see. So it says most of the children who seem to be preteens and teenagers didn't push back against Bonau's claims, except for one boy who quickly received heaps of criticism from Bonau. Bonau also used dehumanizing, inaccurate language, claiming that the abortionist sucked the pregnancy out rather than acknowledging the preborn baby or even using the term fetus, which the children quickly began doing also. Which, that's another thing. They try to use the word fetus to dehumanize a baby, but that's just a scientific term for the baby in the womb. A fetus is just another word for like baby or offspring. Like and they use that to try to be like, oh no, it's a fetus, it's a baby. It's just another term. And then here, Bonau, whatever, also attacked pro-lifers. I don't call them pro-life. I call them anti-choice, she said, adding, the people that say they're pro-life don't want to take care of people that have babies they can't afford and then are totally poor. They want to deprive people of access to health care. And I'm just like, you guys aren't pro-life. I'm pro-life. So you want to say that we're not pro-life because we want to help the mother and the baby? We want to direct them to pro-life pregnancy centers that are going to help them, that are going to give them free resources, free diapers, free clothes, free formula, that are going to give them free or very, very cheap services like well woman exams and sonograms, ultrasounds, whatever. No, we're the ones that don't want to help the women. Yet Planned Parenthood takes women in, gives them abortion, sends them on their way. They don't care about them. Planned Parenthood does not care about women. They just want your money and they just want to kill babies. And the fact that she's calling herself pro-life, no, you're not. Abortion is not healthcare. Abortion is not healthcare. Abortion is the killing of a human life. Killing a human life is not healthcare. It is not helping anyone. You are murdering an innocent human being, so therefore it is not healthcare. It's as simple as that. It says here in the article, the bottom line, the abortion industry has long tried to indoctrinate children into their pro-abortion agenda. This book, presenting abortion as a human empowerment, is just the latest example. Yeah, y'all, people are deranged. People are evil, like straight evil. And it's disgusting to see just another example of people, leftists, trying to target children. But I got a little heated in this one. Of course, the topic of abortion is a very serious one for me, and I forgot my mic was there, and I'm very passionate about abortion, obviously, and being pro-life, especially, like I said in my first video, especially now being a mom and having gone through pregnancy and labor and seeing how beautiful the whole process is of creating life and feeling my baby moving in me and being so much more firm in my stance. I just don't understand how women who have children are okay with abortion. It's like, you felt life inside of you. You felt your baby moving and kicking. You went to like your appointments. You saw the ultrasounds. Like, you saw your baby moving inside of you. You saw their little heart, their little brain, their little like fingers and toes. You saw their face, and yet you still want to say they're not a human, and you still want to say that like it's okay to kill them if you didn't want them. Yet you saw that they were a little person up on that screen when you were having an ultrasound. It's very mind-boggling. But I think I'm going to end here because I can just keep going on and on and on about abortion and about my view on it, and how I really don't understand how people can support it. I really, really don't. Like I said, other topics I can see nuance. Other topics I can for the most part understand both sides. That doesn't mean I'm supportive of both sides. I can see where people are coming from on both sides. But with abortion, I do not understand the people who think it's okay to murder babies. I just don't get it. But that's the way the world is, and we just got to keep fighting for the truth and keep speaking up and keep trying to spread the facts. And that is my cue. My baby's waking up. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.